My name is Eleanor DULLEA, but you don't call me Eleanor. Call me Ellie, if you want to stay friends. That's a no-no. Okay, now that I got that off my chest, I've been here 21 years. I've lived here 21 years. I came about 3 or 4 years prior to that because my son moved away and he took his 2 granddaughters with him, of all the nerve. So I had to come over every month to sit in the little pool with them and play. And so I decided, why don't I just move over here? So I did. And I've never regretted it. In Santa Barbara for 25 years, and it was a beautiful community, but I couldn't stand the dampness. So I asked my son and his wife, do you care if I move here? No! Well, then they had a babysitter, so that worked out nice for them. But anyway, talking about Desert Hot Springs, what I love about Desert Hot Springs is it's a small town. You don't have tons and tons of traffic like you do on the other side of the 10. It's peaceful at night, and this town has grown beautifully. I think the COVID income tax was just a wonderful thing for them, for the improvements that they have done and were much needed, but they didn't have the wherewithal to do a lot of these things. But I've been very happy with the Chamber of Commerce, and I tell you, working at the Senior Center for 6 years and doing that many fashion shows, if I ever needed anything, I would call, now his name's left me, the council member, and he would get me anything I needed for the shows. We had red carpets and stanchions and red cobween and everything. He took really good care of us, so I think the way they've controlled the growing of this town has been an asset to it. So maybe other people don't feel that way. But you have everything you need here. You don't need to go across the freeway. And that I like, especially now, because I'm such an old broad and I don't drive a car. I understand your vortex out here at Pearson, and I tell the people in the mobile home park where I live about it, and goes right over their head. I don't think they know what a vortex is. And so anyway, I try to enlighten them, whether they want to hear it or not, you know. But it's really interesting in how many people don't want to listen to history. And I borrowed a book from a neighbor that came from this historical society. And I learned so much about my neighborhood from that book. Corkill was a real estate investor from LA. That's how he got the name of the street. And his wife's name was Aurora, and so that crosses over ours. And that street at one time went all the way to Sky Valley, because we're between Desert Hot Springs and Sky Valley. And there's at least 25 mobile home parks out there. And I'm sad to say that the real estate investors from yonder places have found us. And now we're going to have 70 houses built down at the south end of our street. And it's taken me 5 years. We had a little girl get hit out there 5 years ago in December. She got killed by a stupid old man who passed the school bus on the wrong side and hit her. And So that upset me so much that I had to do something, because I had a little granddaughter the same age, and I thought, oh my God, that could be mine. And so finally, the county, after 5 years of study, they are going to, we got them $300,000 grant from Amtrak. This is my baby, I'm sorry, but, no, I'm not sorry, but they're going to put in better streets, notification signs about the school buses out there and the children that we want to be safe. And I actually wrote a letter to the secretary of the director of Riverside County Transportation in San Bernardino, no, Riverside, that we did not want a lot of building out there and traffic. We're finally going to get control on our street, and they're doing 5 streets out there. It's a little bitty community. And we have a commercial gas station and a restaurant out there. That's our claim to fame. But we have several really nice mobile home parks. Most of them have swimming pools, which is nice for those that want to use them. To the powers that be in Riverside, that we didn't want all that traffic coming up our street because of the situation we've had. And I've spent, along with others, 5 years of my life trying to make something happen out there to make it safe. And the supervisors and the transportation department has come through, like nobody's business, like Santa Claus is coming, and they'll start next spring. And I've got to live that long so I get to see what's happening. What I remember about the wonderful hot springs you have here. And we have them out where we live. And of course, that's always been a draw for desert hot springs from the get-go. And I think that's marvelous. And I think that the council has been very cautious on how much growth we got, and taken care of the city quite well. So it's not overcrowded, overdone, but we keep improving. We have to grow for it to survive. So that's just the way it is any place. If you don't grow, you're going to die on the vine, and the community will go to you-know-what. And we have that wonderful senior center up there, and now this wonderful place. I'm just thrilled with this, and we'll probably have more interesting things come up. So, out here, I've never been to well, I've been to New Mexico, but I expected New Mexico to be barren. But, you know, you grow accustomed to this, and I love these mountains. I feel like they are protecting us from the big city, which is a false hope, but anyway, that's the way I feel about them. And they're so beautiful in the wintertime when they're snow-capped. I just love it. There isn't a lot in this town that doesn't have a mountain view. Now, not all of these communities can brag about that. And, you know, people leave you alone, you do your thing, and it's just a quiet little place, but it's got more life in it, so that's okay. We have to grow. So, I didn't know anybody my age. And I got a job in a travel agency, but it was over across the freeway. The one that was here closed. They didn't need any help, and it was a blessing because I got a better job across in Cathedral City. And then I'd had enough of that because I got transferred from one agency to another. So I came back here and worked for a hotel up the street. And then I got a job with the eye doctor that we used to have here, Dr. Miller. He was down there next to the car wash. And he was an absolutely delightful young man from Yucaipa. And we had a good relationship. But he got tired of commuting, and he lived in Yucaipa and had another business there, so that closed. But one day I was at work and I had to call a client to tell her her glasses were ready, and she worked at the Bank of America. And so I called her up, and she says, "I can't talk to you, I'm being robbed." So that was a real shocker. I've never heard anything like that before. We're a couple of nuts, I tell you. We have so much fun together, and we were always roommates when we went to convention. She kind of took me under my wing, or under her wing, because I didn't know any adults except a few I was getting to meet at the senior center. And I heard about Soroptimists and the wonderful thing they do about helping these poor young girls who are all messed up. We had one little girl come back 3 times, no names, and alcohol 1 time, drugs. 3rd time she came back for sex addiction. I never heard of such a thing. But anyway, we would go once a month to visit the girls in the house. There's one over on the other side near Too Much, just above that. And Dot and I, she took me under her wing because I was a new member. I joined because I liked so much what they were doing to help young women. And we've been friends ever since. We go to conventions together and we were friends. But she was a finisher, and it was pre-Christmas. Excuse me. And a lot of people from all over the country. There was one from, well, Scandinavia someplace. And she had that on the airplane with her when we went to Washington, D.C. because she had to get it finished and mailed to get it to the Scandinavian country in time for Christmas. I woke up, here she was with her egg beater. She had yarn tied to it, and the other end on the chair. I said, "What the devil are you doing?" "Well, I'm making my trim for the stocking." I mean, it was stuff like this that happened that you wouldn't expect with anybody else. Well, I didn't expect that. But we had a great time. We saw Santa Claus on the street and waved to him. And we didn't get to see the Clintons, who were in office at that time. In fact, Hillary wrote her a letter and asked her to come, because she asked the needlework groups to do stockings for the White House tree. And I kept pushing her. "Oh, who have you found?" "Nobody." "Well, you better get somebody. You're going to go. You can't pass this opportunity up. It's one in a lifetime." So I finally said to her, "Dot, if you don't get somebody to go, I'll go with you." Well, I think maybe secretly she was waiting for that. I don't know. But we went, and we found a placard of the Clintons in a shopping center, so we stood with our faces with them, like a bunch of tourists, you know. But she had to take some things to the, when you take something to the president, you don't hand it to the president. You have to take it to the special place at the post office, and then they have to check it for security. And so she had to take that, and she had some darling little gourds that her son had painted like birds. And she had some of those for him for his library. And so she had to do that, so I went to the Black Museum in Washington, D.C. And that was really interesting. I loved that. So then we went to Mount Vernon, and that's a beautiful place. And they had this big covered glass cake. Supposedly Martha had baked that cake. Well, suspect. Could be true. But we just had so much fun. We took in all we had time for. Property they just acquired. I want to go there, but she says they won't take me. But it's typical kind of ranch look. It has the wrought iron, the beautiful gate. I may have a picture of it in my telephone. And I had my caregiver take me out there, and it's quite a ways out into Sky Valley. Don't